Alright, A up, and welcome to Corey's Corner. Alright, we are back at the fucking battle stations, ready to make more videos. Now I've moved out and things are pretty much more brutal than ever before, to be honest. But we'll get to that. So firstly, what I want to talk about is basically how shitty parenting is screwing over kids. Now, I mean, I already talked about this somewhat a few months ago, but it's basically just the same shit, like helicopter parenting, meaning when it's time for kids to move out, they have no idea what they're fucking doing, I mean, that's sort of the case for me. My mum was somewhat overbearing, but oh my god, compared to some of the fucking kids here, I was basically neglected, dude. You can just tell these kids are clueless when it comes to living by themselves, I'm sure as the weeks go by, some of these kids will start to have mental breakdowns and shit. They'll start dropping like flies, and with the way people are acting now, I wouldn't be surprised if some kids dropped out in the first month and ended up going home, to be honest. But just as an example, my university made us all download this app before we arrived, right, which is this kind of social media app just for the school. So you'll say, when you sign up to the app, you'll say what dorm you're in and what your major is or whatever, and it will show you people who are doing the same shit, right? So I joined this app. Of course no one messaged me or anything like that. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to reach out to people. No one messaged me, of course. Well, that's not true, actually. There was one person who messaged me, and I mean, I thought my social skills were bad. It's you should have fucking seen this shit, guys. So this girl adds me on this app because we have a similar major or whatever, and she messaged me basically asking what my major is. I have no idea why she asked, since that's literally why we got matched on this app, but whatever. It says it on my profile. She could have just checked, but whatever. So I told her, and she told me she was doing herpetology, which is basically studying lizards and frogs and shit. So I was trying to carry this fucking conversation, guys. So I asked her why she chose that, and she said she loves herps, because they saved her, whatever that meant. So I was like, what do you mean they saved you? And she just said, oh, they saved me from suicide. And I was like, oh, okay, And she was like, yeah. Bear in mind, guys, as well, this is 5 messages into a conversation. Who the fuck opens with something like that? It just shows off poor socialization. But anyway, I didn't talk to her after that, since I've had enough of crazy suicidal women in my life, to be honest. I ain't trying to talk to more women like that. But anyway, so here's the thing, right, is that whenever I'm having a conversation with someone, it always feels like they're trying to get away, they give shitty one-word responses and don't ask questions or anything like that. And the brutal thing is, as well, it feels like they're trying to get away, because they are, they are. That's the truth. I sometimes see normies coping their nuts off in the comment sections on posts on Instagram and shit, saying stuff 10 out of 10 girl with a 1 out of 10 personality, she's still a 1 out of 10 in my eyes. And it's the really brutal thing is, that they don't realise is that the girl who has a 1 out of 10 personality for you, it's only for you. If Chad's coming up to this bitch, he can have the driest opening on earth, and she'll still talk to him, and put in effort into making sure the conversation goes somewhere. Because here's the really brutal thing as well, is that social interaction and small talk and all that shit is pretty much just a test between two people to see if they give enough of a shit about each other to interact in a more meaningful way. So if Chad and Stacey want to hook up, they'll talk first, but when a sub-5 goes up to a girl, he can practice his pickup lines and he can do his mewing and whatever shit he wants, but he's not passing that fucking test, no matter what, That's why I've come to the conclusion that social interaction, or at least with females, is just a complete waste of time for me at this point, but we'll get to that in a minute. So before I left for university, my mum was doing her helicopter parenting bullshit. She was saying, oh, you need to promise to call me every day, okay, and all that shit. And it's part of the reason I moved so far away was literally to get away from my mum, and all of my family pretty much. But she also made me go to the dentists, and they were like, yeah, your teeth are shit, because I haven't been brushing them consistently. I mean, I talked about it in my last video, I talked about that, but I just have no reason to, basically. I don't care, I mean, that shit was kind of nasty, but they showed me behind my teeth with all the plaque or whatever had built up. I mean, I didn't even know I had to brush behind there, I mean, when I say it like that, it makes me sound like a retard, but, it's just the truth. But yeah, I'm brushing my teeth properly now, and they're starting to look better. Not that it really matters, for who they're looking better for, it doesn't matter. But I'm on a much better diet too. Like I literally will just eat chicken, rice and vegetables with like milk or water now, that's it. I can't do the beef diet anymore, I can't afford that. It's too expensive. Now I'm living by myself, I can't afford that shit. I'm living like a hermit now, basically. So I want to hold off having to get a job for as long as possible, The only bad thing I really ingest at this point is alcohol, that's the only bad thing I really take in. But I'll probably talk more about that in another video. But I also had to go to the opticians. Like, my mum made me go to all this shit. She was like, now you're moving away, you need to make sure everything is okay before we go. So I had to go to the opticians too, and they gave me like new glasses, even though the prescription or whatever didn't even change, and my old ones are like still intact and everything. There's nothing wrong with them. They literally like are basically brand new because I never fucking wore them, because I hate my glasses. I never wear them, so the old ones are literally in perfect condition. But my mum made me get new ones. She insisted on paying for new ones for some reason, and I literally haven't worn my glasses for months. So when I went to the opticians the other day to pick these things up, I put them on. It was like putting 2 glass slabs on my fucking face, like literally Minecraft glass blocks on my face. But I'm literally saying to my mum, like, don't buy these, I don't need them, and she does anyway. And this is what I mean, just like helicopter parenting and parents interfering with shit they don't need to fucking interfere with, The thing is, like, I think it makes my vision worse wearing these glasses, because they're so powerful that my eyes get like lazy and shit, like looking through them. Like, it's like wearing a fucking pair of binoculars, seriously. Like, when I put this shit on, it gave me like vertigo or some shit, like I was like dizzy. There's another annoying thing, but that's another annoying thing that parents do, and that's they hype shit up to the point where your expectations are like really high just to be let down. Like, I feel like I'd be used to being constantly disappointed by shit at this point if it wasn't for my mum just getting excited about stuff on my behalf all the time and just constantly hyping shit up. That's just the most mundane stuff, like with university there's a bunch of events on and shit, like parties and whatever. My mum gets so excited for them. She's like, oh my god, you can go to this party and maybe you'll meet a nice girl and she'll be into you, oh my god. There's like these clubs and shit, and she's like, you'll meet your people, you'll be so popular, oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun. And the thing is, my mum doesn't realise, like, these events are for chads only, pretty much. That's just the truth, just get that right out there. They're for chads only. They might as well have a sign, how like back in the day, like during segregation, they had like whites only like clubs. They might as well have a sign on these clubs that say like chads only at this point, because that's what it is. Like the social aspect of all these things, which is the only reason you go to these places, is completely locked off for sub-5s. But of course my mum doesn't believe that, she doesn't understand that, so she's just so far in denial about it that it's pointless arguing back. So whenever she brings up some event or something, I'm just like, yes mum, because what's the point in disagreeing, but with all these clubs, like I said, they're all just social events pretty much. Like, if there was like, let's just say there was like a bowling club or some shit, right? Let's say you like bowling and there's a bowling club. That's just a way for people to socialise over a common interest, And the thing about that is, if you like bowling as a cope, you just do it by yourself. But the club is a way to find people with the same interests. So really you don't care about the cope as much as you care about making friends. And it's like, of course you don't, because if you cared more about the cope, it wouldn't even be a cope. But the really brutal thing is, if you're really friends with someone, you can do pretty much anything with them and have fun. Like, you could join the most boring club and it wouldn't matter. But I mean, at this point I'm basically completely alone, which is like, I know it's kind of what I wanted, but I haven't had consistent real life interactions with people for so fucking long. At this point it doesn't even matter. It's like, I'm not losing anything. That's another thing that I never noticed though, and it's like how much normies talk about shit. Like, these people talk so fucking much, it's crazy, dude. Like, I arrived at the town for my university on Saturday, and all my fucking mum did was talk as we were driving through, like just pointing shit out, like, oh, there's a hairdresser, there's a bank, or whatever the fuck. And the thing is like, I think normies do that shit because they're so used to having constant social interaction that they just have this fucking urge to fill silence, Like, I get it. If you're used to talking or whatever, it makes sense, but it gets super fucking annoying when you're in the car for like 12 hours, it drives you nuts. But yeah, that was pretty much my pre-university experience, just having my mum make me sign up to a bunch of these parties and shit, and she'd say stuff like, oh, you can go and dance at this party, it'll be so much fun, I know you'll enjoy it, and all that shit. But I mean, I will go to these parties because, if nothing else, it'll make good content for videos, I know that. Like, I'll actually be on the front fucking lines of this shit, seeing firsthand the brutal black pills and the just sheer amount of mogging that takes place at these college parties. You know, like, I haven't really been to this shit, so I've heard the rumours about how brutal they are. I can actually see this shit firsthand. I'm actually kind of excited in a weird kind of way. I'll talk about that in a future video once I actually go to them, you know, but I'll probably talk about it next week actually. But for now, let me just say, it's super fucking annoying and just completely brutal having my mum force me to sign up to these things, because the thing is, she's constantly hyping them up. Like I said, like, she'll say, oh, look at this one, that one looks like fun, and she'll show me like the advertising or whatever, and you know, it'll just have these like bright colours and shit, you know, and people laughing and having fun, and it's just like, yep, you know, you're not going to experience that, pal, you know. But the things my mum was saying was nowhere near as brutal as the things my cousin was saying to me. So I saw my cousin before I moved out. Like, she's like a few years older than me, so I don't see her that much. But my mum set up like a bunch of these like family gatherings and shit, so I can see like all the members of my subhuman family before I leave. And at first I thought my mum had set my cousin up to do this, but before I left, my cousin handed me like a pack of condoms. And the thing is, like, when I told my mum about it, she just burst out laughing. Just so fucking brutal, man. Like, even my mum knows I'm not going to need those things. Like, at least my mum knows it's over for me, pretty much, though. But I just said to her, like, how my cousin had given them to me. And I said some shit like, oh, I'm not going to need these. And my mum was like, oh, well, you never know, you might get lucky, there might be a lucky lady. Or whatever shit. It's over, bro. It's fucking over. Like, maybe it seems weird to talk about this with my mum, but I'm at the point where sex is honestly like so far removed from anything in my life that it doesn't feel weird to talk about. I don't know. But either way, I accepted the packet. It was like this packet of like 12 or whatever, I don't know. Because I mean, yeah, like, I guess, like, you do never know. But also I think it would just be funny to see, like, if I still have the whole thing by the end of the year. Like, funny but brutal, you know. But I mean, I'm still thinking about the whole sex doll idea. I mean, I mentioned that in my last video. The town I moved to is like small as shit. Like, it's tiny. Like, I don't know how many people live here. It's like very small town. Like, I'll talk more about that in a minute, but that basically means that escort maxing is less viable. That's pretty much off the table at this point. And I didn't really want to do that shit anyway, but my room is like quite sizable. Like, it's actually surprisingly nice, to be honest. So I could totally order one and have like space to hide it or whatever. I mean, it's not like anyone's going to be coming in here, let's be honest, right? The thing is, they do cost a shit ton of money. Like, this one I was looking at, like $1,700. That's just what I'm thinking about, but they vary, but they're expensive as shit. But I'm sure if I spend that, like, if I spend like another month alone out here, like, talking to absolutely no one pretty much, I'll reach a point where I just don't care anymore, you know? Like, that would financially hurt me, but what else am I going to buy? It's like, I'm not even going to be around this time next year, probably. So it's like, who cares, right? But I don't want to be out here seeming like a fucking pervert or something like that, you know? Like, I'm looking for companionship, you know? Just a real fucking relationship. I don't know, man. I don't think it can be achieved, you know? I mean, at this point I've given up on that and just completely accepted it's not going to happen. Like, the mind will do whatever it can to maintain hope, even in the face of just overwhelming evidence. So there'll always be like a holdout in my brain that's like, it's not over, you know? You know, that little bit of hope, like that tiny little light against the darkness. But really, that's all it is. It's just hope. It's not actually backed by anything. It's not actual action. It's just hope. And hope is cope. So if you don't count that shit, then really, you know, if you don't count that thing that can't be like extinguished, I've given up pretty much, like, completely. But yeah, that reminds me of the shit I saw at on the drive up here. So when I was driving to the university with my mum, we pulled out at this like service place because the journey's so fucking long. And first of all, when I went in, it was like 6 in the fucking morning, and there were all these fucking dudes in the gambling section of the services. You know how like sometimes these highway service places will have like an area sectioned off full of slots or whatever, like for gambling. There were a bunch of dudes in there. They just looked like zomboids, honestly, just hunched over at these fucking machines, sliding away, you know, the gambling machines at 6 in the fucking morning. Oh my god, looking like they've been there all night, like bags under their eyes, you know, like unkempt beards and shit. Like, just fucking hell, that was pretty fucking brutal, to be honest. And the thing is, like, we stopped at a couple of services, and as we got like further into as we got like closer to where I was going, there were more of these guys. It's like we were just getting more and more brutal as the journey went on. But that was pretty fucking brutal. But there was also this worker outside the entrance to one of these places that kept looking up whenever a girl would walk past, and he would just like super obviously stare at their arse or whatever. My mum saw that as we were like driving out of this one place, and she was like, "Oh, that's gross. You know, you can't be doing that, especially not looking like him." And you guys, this dude was like some curry cell manlet who was pretty below max, probably like a 2 out of 10. He was just sweeping shit up for his wage cut job, you know, and I just thought it was so brutal because, of course, you know, like my mum's right. He can't be doing that, you know, if he's looking like that. And if he was a Chad doing that, people wouldn't care so much. Like, I mean, they probably wouldn't care at all, really. I mean, since Chads can pretty much do whatever they want, they have the halo effect around them. Meanwhile, sub 5s have the phalo effect. But anyway, but yeah, I want to get onto the meat of the video now, and that's like me moving out finally. So I mean, it's been something I've wanted to do for a while now. So I know a lot of people question like why would you want to go to university, and the thing is, like, I actually have a fairly good major, like it's a STEM degree or whatever, which I guess sounds good. I won't talk about this too much, but I'd say if you're thinking about going to university, you should probably do a STEM degree, just because otherwise, like, I feel like you're just throwing away money for nothing. Like, I think the degree should you should have a job in mind at least, you know. Like, I see people doing philosophy and art, and it's like, no offense, but what you're gonna, like, is point, you know. I mean, most of these people are gonna live pretty damn good lives anyway, so it's like, who cares? But yeah, you might as well just go there if your parents are paying, you know, like, why not? But you know, that's just my opinion. But the degree isn't really the main reason for that anyway, to be honest. The whole thing, like, I don't really feel like the whole thing was in my control, you know. Like, a lot of the things in my life, it's just another one of those things where it's like, it's just an unspoken thing in my family that I'd go to university, you know. Like, it's just another example of what I've talked about in the past, where it's like my life isn't really controlled by me. Other people are living it for me, yada yada. I've talked about this shit so many fucking times. But I was like happy to go along with it at first, you know. Firstly because I really wanted to move out, like I say, and get the fuck out of my hometown. I'm so glad to be out of my hometown. That's actually a good thing. It's like I went walking around the town like the other day just to get used to my surroundings, and I was so happy not to be in my fucking hometown and like not to know anyone, you know, and not to have like no one recognise me. And just to get away from my family as well and all that shit. But also I think like the best way to explain it is just to share this quote. I'm going to share a quote real quick, and it goes like this. You guys might have heard it before. So, make no mistake about people who leap from burning windows. Their terror of falling from a great height is still just as great as it would be for you or me standing speculatively at the same window just checking out the view, i.e. the fear of falling remains a constant. The variable here is the other terror, the fire's flames. When the flames get close enough, falling to death becomes the slightly less terrible of two terrors. It's not desiring the fall, it's terror of the flames. And yet nobody down on the sidewalk looking up and yelling, "Don't," and "hang on," can understand the jump. Not really. So yeah, anyway, let me talk about this town, because moving to this part of the country was very brutal. You know, just because of the economic depression that's been going on here for a long time, like decades and decades, this part of the country has been deprived. And this town, as far as it goes, this town's actually pretty good, compared to the rest of this part of the country, you know. But that's, you know, you can see on the streets there's just like below max people walking around, like mostly boomers, you know, people walking around in the middle of the day because they don't have a job, just hanging around the shopping area of town. Like, there's this like high street which has all the shops on it, and that's just where people like congregate in the middle of the day because they have nowhere else to go. They just smoke and shit, people hobbling around. And like as we drove in, me and my mum, as we drive through these fucking mountains, there's like a bunch of fog and shit on the ground. It was like something out, it was like really creepy, honestly. It was kind of creepy, honestly. It was like something out of Silent Hill. And that's the thing about the town as well, is there's like nothing here. It's like, it's in the middle of nowhere, it's surrounded by mountains. You're like disconnected from the rest of the world, which is kind of a good thing. I would just say, like, thank God for the internet, because if I didn't have this channel, I'd lose my mind. But there's like nothing here. It's a fairly small town anyway, like I said, and half the shops are shut anyway. Half of them are like closed down and vacant. I mean, I'll need to find like an address or some shit so I can like order stuff online, because otherwise like there's no way I can get my hands on stuff. Like, apart from a store that's got like food, there's pretty much nothing here basically. But anyway, we drove up to where all these apartments were and shit. Like they had a bunch of these like apartment blocks in this one area where the students live and shit. And basically, I dropped all my shit off, and my mum left. So I had to go to this like little hut to join, you know, to like get my key and shit. And straight away, like I noticed how strange some of these other kids were. Like there were a bunch of people in this line waiting to get their room assigned or whatever. And I noticed this kid behind me. He had like a pentagram on his like around his neck. Like I guess he was like a Satanist or some shit. I don't know. But the thing is, like, this wasn't even a necklace or something. Like, that would have been weird enough, but no, this motherfucker had a pentagram choker on. Like, as a male, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was a male anyway, it's kind of hard to tell. But straight away, I was thinking, like, compared to some of these fucking kids in the line, like, I was actually pretty normal, you know, I'm hesitant to say it, but I actually mogged some of these kids. You know. So I got my key, I took my shit to my room, I had to, like, lug it up some stairs, and I got into this fucking dorm area, right, and, there were like 8 other rooms in there. They all lead into this hallway, and there's also like a kitchen where people can hang out or whatever. So I went in, and this like rice cell kid was in front of me with his mum. He was in like the same dorm, and oh my god, like you guys, this guy hype mocks me to absolute shit. Like I don't think of myself as like a manlet or anything like that, but this guy like, or like a height cell or anything like that. But this guy, like, I guess I'm like 5'11", but this motherfucker must have been like 6'7", dude. Like, he might be the tallest person I think I've ever seen in real life, bro. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, to be honest, because like there is such a thing as too tall, but this guy's probably fine. Plus, I think he's like half Asian too, so he'll probably be fine. The thing is, I said hi to the guy, and he didn't say anything back. I don't know if it was because he was with his mum and he felt like awkward or what, but it's basically just fucking impossible to socialise with people when they don't talk back, you know. Like, that's something I noticed when I was in like Scotland a while ago. I made a video about that. Like, I'd say shit to people, and a couple of other times I've experienced this too, like in school, like when I'd go up to people and say shit and they just fucking ignore me. Like, people would just stare back at me and say nothing. Like, people say shit like, be confident, but you know, what would these red pill retards do in that situation? Like, you go up to someone, say hi, and they say nothing. They just stare back at you like, what the fuck do you do? There's nothing you can. It's over, bro. It's over. But I said my room is like a good size or whatever. Another good thing about it is the walls are pretty thick. Like, I can't hear other people talking unless I'm in the hallway, which is good, because it means I can like make videos pretty much whenever I want, which was the main thing I was concerned about, to be honest. Just because I want to be able to make videos in peace. I mean, that was a big reason I wanted to move out in the first place, and I was kind of worried the walls would be like paper thin or whatever. But I mean, I don't know, like, I would still like a car, but that's kind of like lower on the priority level now. But it's still not ideal. Like, I'm still not 100% sure if I could, like, if I sound quieter, that's why. It's because like I usually make videos when I'm home alone. Now it's like, no, I can't. Like, I gotta be careful. But we'll see. Like, I might try and find a place, like another place to record. Like I'll go into town, see if I can bring my mic with me. I'm gonna get a better mic as well. I'm gonna get like a Blue Yeti microphone, I think, so I can make like higher quality videos. But I might have to. I don't know. I'll see. We'll see what we can do. The only thing I'm thinking, like, if I record outside, like, the audio quality might be like really bad. Like, if it's like windy or whatever. Like, that's another thing too. Like, this part of the country, it's dark for most of the year. Like, it's one of those areas of the country where it's like dark. Like, during winter there's like no sun, and it's like windy, and it's like grey every single day. So the audio, I don't know, we'll see what we can do, eh? So that first night after I'd unpacked my shit, which didn't take too long, to be honest. I mean, I didn't bring that much. Like, a suitcase for clothes and a few boxes. That's all I really need. That's all I need to fit my shit in. Yeah, like, I saw some people bringing in like crazy amounts of shit, and if you look in their boxes, it's just like random stuff, like mirrors and fake plants and stuff. And it's like, I unpacked my shit and decided to head out to this like club that's like kind of near where I live. So I just wanted to see what was going on. Like I said, this town's pretty small, so there's only like 3 clubs or bars or whatever you want to call them. Like, not pubs, but actual bars where like young people go. There's only like 3 of them. Like, it's a pretty old town, honestly. Most of the people here are boomers, like I said. It's just boomer central. But I went to this bar, and somehow all the people at this place were sitting around talking to each other already. Like, I have no fucking idea how they'd already gotten into their like little friend groups, because I arrived on, like, I'm pretty sure like the first day you can arrive. I mean, I assume they went out with their dorms or something, but I only had this like one fucking guy with me who hadn't even left his room at this point. This rice cell guy, I didn't even know which room he was in. I just wish I knew which room this guy was in, so, because honestly, like, going out into the fucking kitchen is kind of creepy, knowing he's hanging around. Like, it's kind of no man's land in there or some shit. Like sometimes shit will be moved and it's like, what the fuck, you know. So like I said, I went to this club and I went inside to see like a couple of people like me, you know, like sub-5s looking around, standing around like lemmings, looking pretty fucking clueless. And the brutal thing is, you can clearly see the effort these guys put into their appearance, you know, like they comb their hair back and they put on aftershave, whatever, like they make an effort to make themselves look presentable, you know, they wear nice clothes, they follow all the Red Pill advice. I mean, it's all for nothing, you know, because they're sub-5. You can literally take, like, once you take the black pill, you'll never see the world the same way again. But especially when you see the state of some of these girls, like, oh my god, guys, like the stereotype of the college art degree hoe is like half the fucking girls here. Like most of them are either dressed like that, like super butch feminists, or they're dressed like typical Stacys, you know, in these really fucking revealing outfits. Like, to be honest, there's not even any point in them wearing clothes anymore. Some of these people, like, some of them look like they're basically wearing like a shoelace to cover that shit up. But yeah, obviously nothing happened at this fucking club. Like, it was dead as hell, like fucking hell, that nothing happened. Like, I got in and went up to this one guy and he was pretty clueless, but I introduced myself. I was like, hey, what's up? And I mean, I got his number from him, but he left like pretty fucking quick when I was talking to him. And I mean, most of the sub-5 guys there did. Like, I don't blame them for wanting to leave early, but that's the thing people say. It's like, oh, you should try talking to other sub-5s and make friends with them. But honestly, it's pretty fucking pointless, because most of these guys are still in denial about their status as a subhuman. And I already know that, like, 100% throw me under the bus at the slightest chance of getting with a female, you know. Like, I've been friends with sub-5s in the past, and whenever a woman gets involved, they immediately throw you under the bus to get with that woman, you know. Like, you can't trust these fucking guys, and I'm at the point where I don't trust anyone, you know, to be honest. But yeah, going into this club, like, I had this feeling that I haven't had in so fucking long, guys, and it's like, I haven't experienced this shit since I was in like high school probably, but even then, like maybe earlier, and it's like, it's just absolutely terrible social anxiety, you know. Like, I was first, like, when I was first approaching this club, I just felt like my fucking stomach sink, and I was just terrified, you know. Like, when I first arrived here, I thought like I could kind of mog some of these people, like I said, like I was like, hey, you know, I'm actually like not too bad, but I'm not mogging anyone, you guys. Like, when I went to this bar, I saw some of the state of some of these people. I'm not mogging anyone. Like, don't get me wrong, I didn't actually like believe I'd mog the people here. I just was a little surprised, is all I'm saying, at, you know, how brutally subhuman some of these people were. But by the time I left the club, it had gotten dark anyway, and any hopes I had of mogging people was just obliterated when I saw this group of like 3 or 4 chads walking past me, all hype mogging me to shit. Their voices were so much deeper than mine. Like, I heard them talking, they were like laughing together really loudly in like these super deep voices, like literal like giga chads, like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 walking past me to this club, like all talking and laughing together. You know, and they're probably all in the same dorm as well. Like, I know the university has like pictures on their database or whatever, so maybe they decide they put all the sub-5s in like one building, because so far the only people I've seen move into my block are like subhumans. But I don't know, that's just a theory, I don't know. But it's like what I said earlier, it's like people will say these people are all attractive because they're not fun to talk to, or so that, you know, they're just worthless. But the brutal thing is, these people aren't fun for you to talk to because they don't give a shit about you. But you best believe when Chad comes along, all these Stacys become real fucking fun and interesting people, you know. That's the thing though, is that people only act like that when they want something from you. Whether it's like a relationship, sex, whatever. That's when you see people's true colours, is when you have nothing to offer them. And that's when you learn the brutal fucking truth of the world, is that the vast majority of people aren't nearly as nice as some people would like to think, you know. Like, my mum would like to think everyone's so not, like, no, they're not, you know. Like, I don't hate people, I'm not like out here being like everyone's evil either. I'm just saying, like, it's just the truth. It's not all sunshine and rainbows and lollipops in the world, you know. And that's like, it's a harder pill to swallow when you've just been sheltered your whole life and like helicopter parenting, like I said at the start of the video. But I mean, I've accepted it at this point pretty much, like I said. And in the end, I just went back to my kitchen and made myself dinner. I ate alone. I just drank all evening by myself until I managed to fall asleep. I just had my chicken and rice and vegetables. I just ate alone. Fuck. The most brutal thing is, like, my window is above like some pathway that people use to get to the bar, so for a while I was drinking, trying to fall asleep, I could just hear people laughing and coming home. Like, God forbid some Chad moves into my dorm and he brings home like a bunch of fucking girls and I can just hear them having sex like every night, because that would genuinely be the thing to push me over the fucking edge. But anyway, at this point I'm pretty much just looking to cope in peace, you know, just keep to myself. Like, I've accepted I'm not gonna, like, the first 48 hours of university, I think, or the first 48 hours of any social interaction is when it'll be like really determined how well you're gonna do, because people have already made their fucking groups. I'm not saying like it's over if you're Chad and you arrive late, but I'm just saying like the early time matters, and like it was over for me anyway. Like, I'm not saying in another world it would have worked out, because it wouldn't, but I'm just saying like it's like I've accepted it's over. Yeah, I don't know, like, what was I even saying? Fuck, my mind just went blank. Shit. Whatever. I mean, I'm just looking to cope in peace, is my point. Just keep to myself, keep quiet, you know, and to stay out of trouble and just cope, you know. I'm probably gonna have that sex doll in a month at this rate. Fuck. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Fuck. Like, I know I talked about the edibles shit. I mentioned that in my last video, like using edibles to cope. But honestly, now I'm here, it just seems like a really fucking stupid idea. Like, I mean, I guess it always did, but I thought, like, I was saying, I don't think this anymore, but I was saying in my last video, like, maybe it will, like, unlock some secret of my mind, or whatever bullshit I was on. I mean, the brutal thing is, there's no secret in my fucking mind. There's nothing to be unlocked, you know. It's over, and it's just it's really that simple, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'll make it my mission to find new copes over the next few days. I mean, college actually starts in less than a week, like the school aspect of it, which is meant to be the main bit, even though I know it's not for like anyone else except stuff like you know, it's over for you when you go to university and the main thing you're worried about is school rather than the social aspect. But whatever, I mean, I know it's over for me, so I knew that already, so it's fine. But yeah, I have to study and shit. Like, I'm the kind of person that takes that stuff like sort of seriously, like studying and shit, so if nothing else I have that as a cope, you know. But I mean, apart from that, I'm basically at the point where I'm like really thinking about my life, because to be honest, like, being here is really making me thinking about just ending it all, you know. Like, I really see like nothing ahead of me but misery, loneliness, and all that shit, and just like no one cares, you know, no one cares. And I'm sure people like will make fun of me in the fucking comments and shit, and it's like, yeah, like I guess I got my wish to be all alone, and you know, I guess the lesson is just be careful what you wish for. I mean, it's not like I really had a choice in the first place anyway, and I was basically alone anyway, but yeah, I mean, if anything, this will probably work out better, you know. But yeah, I mean, until next time, that's pretty much it.